So my name is Aleksey Savkin, coming from Barcelona, but well, I have some international background. I was studied in Russia, and then I moved to Czech Republic, to Prague, and after this I moved to Barcelona finally. And today we're talking about agility. Agility applied to the domain of strategy execution. So if these words sound familiar for you, then you're on the right topic, on the right presentation. And here's my plan. So first of all, we'll talk a little bit about strategy. What is a strategy? Because it's a tough question. And be prepared to share your ideas about strategy. Just hands up and share what you think strategy is. Then we will move slowly to the idea of what agility means applied to strategy, because we know what is lean, we know what's agile, but what if we apply agile to strategy, what will happen, how it looks like. And finally, we'll discuss some tools that we can use to make things happen. Yeah, because everything is fine in theory, but when it comes to practice, it's a little bit different. So that's it. And strategy, please, hands up. What are your associations with a strategy? What do you think strategy is? Yeah, one option. Exactly. Other associations, other things. I put on these pictures my own association. So first of all, Napoleon Bonaparte, and we have a strategy like the word that came us from a military jargon, a strategy versus tactics. So strategy is a plan to win the war, and the tactics plan to win the battle. Yeah, and chess. We play chess. We have a limited number of combinations, but still we're not computers and we cannot calculate everything. So we need to have some principles, some ideas, some plan to go to win the game. Another association. And one bad thing about strategy is that it's normally only for these big rooms, only for board of directors. And actually it is not so. Actually strategy is not only for those guys. It's also for people who do the job. And if you go to any company and you ask any employee, what is the strategy of your company? You will not hear any good answer. You will hear like, go to those guys and ask them. They know what strategy is, and we're just doing our job. And that's the problem. That's what we want to change. We want to make strategy everyone's job, not just job of top managers. That's our dream goal. If you can achieve it, it's good. And of course, when we talk about strategy, we mean something long-term. Yeah, so it's not like I can have strategy for this conference. Yeah, I can have it, but normally it's a long-term strategy. It's like 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. That's the thing. And well, actually, kittens we cannot do without this. I'm putting this for 2 reasons. The first reason is that according to some data, kittens improve feedback rate. So people are more willing to give feedback and actually are giving higher feedback. Well, another reason is more pragmatic, because of in many companies, a strategy is a kind of kitten, because the strategic document, whatever you call it, strategic plan or something like this, is created just once a year. It is a really nice document, really nice PowerPoint slides, really nice charts in Excel. It's really nice document, really well formatted. They spent a lot of time on formatting it. And then they forgot about this for 1 year. So 1 year, this kitten is somewhere there, and after 1 year, they come back. Unfortunately, we were not able to execute all we wanted. Yeah, because no one saw this product, no one saw your strategy, not a surprise. And well, you had some good answers about what a strategy is. And actually, this book by Henry Mitzberg and his authors, Strategy Safari, is giving like 10 definitions, not definitions, is explaining that there are 10 schools of strategy. And each school gives its own definition about what is a strategy. And each school gives its own definition about how to find good strategy. And it's a long reading, and if you want to go into the details, you can go there. But well, more or less, all they agree that the strategy is what you answered. The strategy is a way to get things done on a big scale. And well, let's talk a little bit about strategy. One thing that we can do is to come up with a finish line. And the best example of a finish line was from a speech of President Kennedy. The long title of the speech is very long, so the short one is we choose to go to the moon. The idea is that we choose to go to the moon within 10 years, get people there, and get them back safe. Very good finish line, you know? And well, the thing is that it's not about strategy, it's just finish line. And imagine that someone during a French Revolution would produce such a finish line. It's stupid. People don't have any technology, and it would be just a kind of dreaming. It's not a really good strategic goal. And when Kennedy was making this speech, it was not yet done. Yeah, but technically there were all the technologies to do this. So that's the first definition of a strategic goal. If we compare it to the business dream, which is just dream, we're dreaming, it's good. The strategic goal and respectively strategy is something that we can achieve. It's not that close to us, but we can achieve it. And our team believes that we can achieve it. So that's one thing about strategy. And finish line. In your business, you can also find it. There are businesses without finish line, and it's good. But if you can find it, if you can give some bottom lines that you want to achieve in the end, it would help. If not, you can do without this as well, not a problem. So what you guys answered to my question, what is a strategy, is how to get things done in a long perspective. And if we have our finish line, our strategy will be this curve towards this finish line. That's the idea of strategy, like on a high level. Now, why we need strategy? Because as a CEO, I know what I want, and I don't need to make any, document. I don't need this because I know where I want to go, and every day I can make decisions without any documents. It's easy. Well, unless I have very complex strategy. Actually, you can make choices as a CEO, but when you go to software developer, to tester, you can go to project manager. For him or for her, it will be really hard to make choices because he or she does not know about all your ideas, about where you want to go, all the nuances, all the background of this, all the information. So you need to create your strategy to describe it, to make it readable and understandable for that person, so that that person can make choices without you. And well, we can come up with a lot of examples, but I think you get the idea. So these choices is for not just for you, it will help you, but these choices are for your people, for your team. And the first choice that you make when you start your business is answering these three questions. Who is your customer? What you're going to deliver to your customer, and how you're going to do this. So these are basic choices that you do, and later you will use your strategy to make more choices. So strategy is also about choices. Now, strategy is also about choices that we want not to do, not to make consciously. So this is the idea of Michael Porter, who insists that strategy is not about things that we're going to do. Strategy is about things that we're not going to do. And when I first heard this idea, for me it was like, well, obviously I choose things to do, so I know there are things that I'm not going to do, obvious. And it's not that simple. So the idea here is that we need to make this conscious choice about what not to do. For example, software companies can have many products in the product line. And sometimes we have products that is really good in terms of sales, really good in terms of marketing. And sometimes we have products that is not really good in terms of sales. Yeah, that is not generating profit. And we keep it just to keep it, yeah, because it was, we care about this product. We invested a lot of time, a lot of effort, and we keep it because we keep it. A friend of mine recently wrote an article about removing features from the software, because when you have too many features, you spend too many time on supporting them, on fixing bugs in them, and sometimes why you have this feature in this software? Because someone asked you 2 years ago to implement this. It was just one client, and why you should keep it now? His recipe was to not to remove it if you can, but to hide it inside an interface so that you're just making choice for people who are using your software a little bit easier. So one option. Another option is to remove to make your product more simple. And actually, if you want to compile a strategy checklist, this is one of the most important points. Choose what you're not going to do, never ever. And this implies that you will have some resources free to do other things. And other things is your strategy. And he's coming another recommendation for book, Good Strategy, Bad Strategy, Richard Rumelt. It's much more entertaining than the previous one. So if you want to spend pleasant time reading it when you will fly back, choose this one. A lot of stories, a lot of analogies. And actually, Richard Rumelt gave us one interesting idea. Well, this cycle is my visualization of his idea. The idea is that all things related to strategy, all things related to good strategy, need to have the kernel. And the kernel is the combination of three things: the reason, the challenge, and response. So normally we have a business goal, and it is a response. And normally we don't care about the reason why we faced the problem. And spending more time on analyzing why we face this problem is actually helping. Yeah, because if we just focus on the response, we don't get to the results that we want. So we need to be very careful about analyzing all these three components. And I think the keynote today, it was excellent keynote, also mentioned all these components. The name was a little bit different, but the idea is the same. So we need to not just, firefighting. We need to understand, okay, guys, why we have this fire. That's the idea. And all this stuff we have here helps us with one thing. The word that is I put here, coherent. So it helps us to achieve coherence. What does it mean? It means that people from different departments, people from different levels start thinking in the same direction. They cannot do this without having a good strategy in front of them. So you cannot blame them because they're not caring about your business and caring about customer value because they don't know about it. And with strategy, with having a good strategy document, you are able to explain this to them, and you're moving a little bit towards a conscious understanding of what a strategy is and what the role of your team is in helping you to achieve the strategy. So that's the idea. And another recommendation, this book is even more engaging than the previous one. So if your flight is really short, like 1 hour, I do recommend for you this book. And Geraint de Flander is expert in strategy execution. And if you will check out this book, it's like 1 centimeter thick. You'll find out that it's really agile from, it's an agile product itself, the book. You'll find like references, cross-references, a lot of space for notes. I like this thing in books. And we changed emails with Geraint, and it's interesting how he, what bottom line he created for all this stuff related to strategy maps, indicators, lean, agile, whatever. His idea is that the bottom line is we do all this to achieve three things. We need to put strategy, put idea about what we are doing into the heads of people. Then we need to put it in the hearts of people and into the hands of people. So 3H. So heads, people need to understand this. Why, what we are going to do, and how we're going to do this. Okay. Hands is more practical. What is action plan? What initiatives we're going to do? How we're going to measure our products? And hearts is motivation, is engagement. Because if you do just two things, just hands or hands, people will be okay. I will be asked what I am asked. I will do what I am asked to do, and excuse me, but nothing more. And they say that culture eats strategy for breakfast, so that's it. The culture should be about not just mandating tasks to people, not just telling you, I'm your boss, you need to do this. It's about explaining people why they need to do. It's about achieving this emotional connection. We had yesterday a talk about emotions, so I think we all from IT need to switch there a little bit to spend there more time. And well, actually, if you ask me to define the agile strategy, the agile strategy is one that we can put ticks for all the components. So if you check your strategy and you believe that each strategic goal that you have on your strategy is actually in hands, hearts, and hearts of people, then you're on the right track. If there is something that you can work on, you should start working on this. Now, we're going to the tools, which I believe you was expecting, because, oh yeah, all this is good, but give us some practical tools that we can use. One of the practical tools on this level, the most popular one, is the Balanced Scorecard. And this is a very dangerous word, because when you pronounce the Balanced Scorecard, people have a very different ideas now. In the most cases, they have in mind some Excel spreadsheet with some indicators, some metrics, and some, green, red, yellow coding, and that's it. And this is confusing. It's a KPI scorecard or a dashboard. And the Balanced Scorecard was invented many years ago, like 20 or 30 years, by Professors Norton and Kaplan. And it evolved, so it's not old. It's actually, there are updates, and now it's version 4, I think, the fourth generation. And this tool is really popular, and the popularity of this tool depends on the country. It's a little bit more popular in countries of Latin America, and actually, on our website we have some statistics about the usage of this tool, and more than 50% of 100 Fortune companies use it in some or other way. And actually, according to the surveys that organizations like 2GC is doing every year, the adoption of this tool is improving. So people are using this tool more and this framework more, and actually improving the level, the maturity level of application of this tool. So they're moving from KPI scorecard to the strategy scorecard, what it's really designed for. And two key parts of the Balanced Scorecard is strategy map and metrics, indicators, KPIs, whatever you call them. So this is an example, a template of a strategy map that is for marketing. And well, on bcdesigner.com we have more free templates for different domains. And well, actually that's where the typical journey for this tool, for metrics, for Balanced Scorecard starts. People don't like to develop everything themselves. They want to find some template, give us a template, and we will do this. And don't repeat this mistake. You can use this as an example, as an inspiration, but the idea is that all these rectangles on your strategy map will be very different. And this is just a demonstration to explain you the technique, not the model to copy. Because your strategy is unique, as your organization is unique, so different strategy. Now, a typical strategy map is, it's not necessary to do it in software. You can do it in on a paper form, like A3 format is occupied now, so you can do it on A2 format or A1 format, it's big one. And the thing is that companies that have offices like in Vietnam and Singapore, they cannot do it on a paper format, and they need to share it. So one option is to take pictures always and share pictures, and another option is to do it in some software like PowerPoint, Excel, whatever software you use. And the strategy map and the documentation, some supporting documentation that explains all the details that stand behind the strategy map. Yeah, because we discussed before, we need to explain the reason, the challenge, the response, and we explain this in the supporting documentation. And actually, this strategy map is for a certain level only. So if you have only this picture for the whole company, you're not doing that good. Because if you show this to people from software, it's marketing, and what you want me to develop? I'm developer, yeah? So what you want me to do? Doesn't make sense for them. And again, if you show a top scorecard of the top managers, a strategy map of the top managers to marketing people, they will be confused what you want us to do. So the idea is to create more or less local versions to connect them, and in this way you will explain people where their job is and how they can help company with ultimate goals. So a little bit more into the details. On the top, you can put, well, Keynote was speaking about this a lot, you can put your mission or vision statement, the purpose of the company. I believe that the most important goal of this statement is to motivate your team. So choose one statement that actually motivates your team. So we choose to go to the moon, really great, really motivating. Actually, it was motivating whole nation for 10 years. Something boring, build brand and increase customer loyalty. If you don't have anything better, you can put this. And well, actually, go and search for examples, because a good example was a mission statement of Apple in Steve Jobs' time. It was like digital revolution, something like that. And there was an article in Forbes, I think. They were writing about something like that. If that is Apple's mission statement, the company is going to hell, because there is no mission statement, at least public available. And the one that can be interpreted as a mission statement is something like this. We produce tablets, iPhones, iPads, and something that so boring. I'm not sure if anything can be an inspiration for people in Apple. I hope they have some better inspiring statement. So in your case, if you can formulate something that inspiring your team, it's great. And actually by this mean, we're addressing this hard part. So we're trying to motivate people a little bit. This is a very small step, but anyway, it's better than nothing. Now, it's very important how all these rectangles appear. So what top managers like to do is to create them themselves and tell, okay, I created this rectangle for you and follow this. Really bad practice. So what we want to achieve, we want to establish a discussion. Want to, ideal combination when about 60% come from top and about 40% come from bottom, depending on, well, for development it will be vice versa. So that's the ideal combination. And try to achieve this, try to discuss this. And most CEOs need to be silent during this discussion, need to do a Socratic dialogue, asking questions and listening carefully to answers and putting it down. And I mentioned that each department ideally should have its own strategy map. And the process of linking them was called, in the first versions of this system, in the first version of this framework, it was called cascading. But cascading implies a kind of waterfall model. And waterfall is not good. In business, it's not good either. So now it's called alignment. So the idea of alignment is not just it's top to bottom, it's in all directions. So the alignment is the idea of connecting them. So ideally, these rectangles on each level need to be connected to some rectangle of upper level. So we're not just doing what we have, we're not just generating some sales qualified leads. We're doing it because we want to achieve something on the higher level. So the idea is that. Now, these arrows here, they're not just to make it visually attractive, they're very important. They actually explain the cause and effect connection between these goals, between these strategic goals. So the most important actually, and they're grouped in these four perspectives. On the top you have finance and customer, internal processes, and learning and growth at the bottom. So the most important is customer. And actually it's so. What companies tend to do, companies tend to focus it all around finance. Yeah? If you check out a scorecard, like indicators, metrics used in company, you will find out that 70%, 80% is financial indicators. A sign that something needs to be changed. Yeah, because people care only about finance. The idea is that these goals are linked with each other. So we explain what our customers want. And we explain how this will allow a company to generate profits. Well, any company wants to have profit. And to do what customers want, what we need to do inside our business, what business process we need, what products we need to develop, and so on and so forth. And that's good, but we also need to think about future. If you want to stand in the market for a long time, if you want to give customer what they want in a long term, where we need to focus our learning efforts. So it's a good perspective. The last one, not the least one. And If you do it for a real project, you will find that you have a lot of rectangles, a lot of business goals. And it will be hard to sort out what it is all about. So one way to make it easier is to use strategic themes. In this case, you have different colors that will help your team to read this map easier, faster. So instead of just scanning all the goals, reading all the goals, they just, okay, my color is green, so I will start there, and we'll see how this connected to other things. So making things a little bit easier. And here we have an example of how to put the strategy into the hands of people. Because if you give just this goal, increase customer loyalty, for example, it's too big. So people don't understand what it's all about. How can I increase customer loyalty? I need the details, I need plan, I need many things. And you can do this. You can do this on strategy map, you can do it in supporting documentation. You can give some details. You can align some initiatives. Let's say you can A/B test something related to customer. You can develop some program. You can give some details about how you're going to do this exactly. And this is one thing. And another thing that is you can find indicators. And well, Keynote today mentions that all indicators need to be aligned with customer value. And that's really good approach. And also you will need some indicators, some operational indicators as well. So one thing about indicators, well, we can talk about indicators during today's workshop, but the most important thing that don't use indicators to control your people. It doesn't work. People will start gaming the system. One Scandinavian company introduced a set of indicators to control their call center. And it was like the time was needed to answer client's query. So it was Scandinavian company, not Russian. And what happens is that people start calling to each other, people from call center. Yeah. And after half a year, they found out this, and well, stupid we are. And it's not just a single example. There are a lot of examples, and sometimes we just modify reports to look them a little bit nicer, like kittens in the beginning. So that's the point. So don't try to use indicators to control people. It doesn't work. How to use them? Why to use them? Use them to help person to understand what this goal is about. So we have this goal, and how we're going to know that we achieve success? Yeah, because it's really different. And how we define the success. So customer loyalty, how we're going to understand we have achieved it. And you can measure something like retention rate for your customers, but it will take too long to see the result in this indicator, to see the reflection of your action in this indicator. So probably you need to find some other indicator that will give you quicker feedback. Yeah, like on this conference, when we leave feedback. Green cars, yellow cars. We don't wait 2 days until people will go to the website and probably will fill in. Yeah, that's the idea. And well, more about indicators. Two types of indicators, leading and lagging. So lagging is the one, I did something, I'm trying to measure this. It's very simple to find. And leading indicators are those that will possibly predict my results. So if we go to conference, the leading indicator might be the number of the participants. So if we go to the conference where there are just 100 people, we can expect a lot of interaction, yeah, especially if there are several tracks running. So that's the idea, leading indicator. And in your case, if you are lucky to find leading indicator, that's really good. If not, just keep searching. It's not a problem to start without indicators. It's better to start without indicators than start with some stupid indicators that you found on the internet. Yeah, it's common rule. Another thing about indicators is that when you do something and you're trying to measure it then, it's really hard. And sometimes it's impossible. For example, if you attend a conference and you're trying to measure how you was you successful on the conference, or was you successful on trade show, it's impossible. It's difficult. Yeah, you can track the number of business cards you collected or something like that. It's really difficult. Here's the trick. The best way to deal with indicators is to make something measurable by design. So instead of trying to measure something later, you create a system that is measurable by design. For example, for trade show, you can come up with some lottery with something to collect hot leads from people who are coming, and people will give you the details like email, name, position, and that's it. Instead of trying to analyze later what was our success rate, you have a good system that was designed beforehand to make all the idea of the attendance of trade show measurable. It's not easy to find in all the cases, but it's possible. So, finalizing with the tools. Heads, hearts, and hands, finish line, the kernel, things that we're not doing, balanced scorecard, which is complied with strategy map and KPIs. So having this set is a good starting point. Probably during this journey you will find out something later, you will add something. And I want to spend like 5 minutes talking about some typical problems, typical questions that people normally ask. So you're supposed to ask this question, but I'm going to answer it right now. Silos. People don't like silos, and people are trying to break silos. And well, I believe that silos are good, but the problem actually is the communication between silos. So don't break silos. I don't want my software developer to answer sales calls. I can imagine what a disaster it will be. And I don't want my sales to write a code. Yeah, we're not breaking silos. We're just making sure that silos are not isolated, they are communicated. So information silos are not good. That's the point. And probably that's the first pain point that you can address in your company. So check out if there are silos, and it doesn't make sense to implement strategy unless you remove the silos. It won't penetrate into the silos unless you remove the limitation. And another thing, this is a part of a small infographic. I found that people are confusing strategic goal and operational goals. If you check out, go to your company, to CEO, and ask to check out the strategy map, what they have, and you will find out that a lot of goals there are not really strategic. They're kind of, they look nice, like kittens in the beginning. They look nice, they're long-term probably, but they're not strategic. And in simple words, what is the difference? So we have operational and strategic goals. So operational goals is about doing things right. Yeah, we're trying to do things right continuously. We're trying to implement smaller improvements just to keep doing things right. And well, companies from Japan really achieved excellence in this. The problem is that just by doing things right, just by doing small incremental improvement, you probably won't arrive to any finish line. What you need to look for, you need to look for finding goals that imply doing things differently. And that's the difference. Doing things, small incremental improvement or doing things differently. Yeah, so that's the idea. And actually, the higher here at level 2, level 3, so the level 1 was a mission statement, the vision statement, these things. So the strategic goals are actually the middle level between this strategic goal, mission statement, vision statement, and operational goals. So you're not doing business dreaming. You don't have a strategic goal. We want to increase everything by 40%, and how we're going to do, we don't know. It's for the higher level, for the business goal, or for the business dream, and for strategic goals, you need to create something that you can probably do this. You know how to do this, and but it's not achievable yet. Yeah, you need some time, you need some resources, you need to find technology, you need to find people. That's the idea. And try to do this exercise with your goals. Try to see if you have strategic goals. It's not only for business, it's for culture. Yeah, it's for your own personal goals as well. So for your life, do you have just a goal to go to job every day, or you have some strategic goal, some goal that can probably change your life? In this case, it might be, for example, entering some educational program or something like that, or moving to another country. So it's a good strategic goal. Believe me, I did it 2 times, so it changed everything in your life. So it's a good strategic goal. So basically now, I'm listening for questions.